Hi there, friends. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. Today is the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. And of course, when we're talking about summer, we're talking about the tropics. And we do have an area here towards the south and east of Japan, just north of Guam. It's a bit of an upper level low that could make its way down towards the surface that we're keeping an eye on. Meanwhile, the easterlies are still here south of Guam with a little bit of a tropical wave, flaring up some convection across parts of Visayas and Mindanao. And then you have the rainy season front, which both of these areas likely are going to head off towards the north and eventually get absorbed in that rainy season front there. But yeah, once again, today is the first day of summer, the summer solstice, aka the most amount of daylight in the northern hemisphere of the year. But let's talk about the tropics here and what we have going on for at least the time being. And first and foremost, let's look at the broader picture here with our futurecast, and let's talk about this area because it is a bit of an upper level low, kind of getting absorbed with the TUT here, the tropical upper tropospheric trough. And if we look at the broader picture of things, well, let's go over here and see with Pagasa. They do say there is that chance of something developing there outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. They do give it a low chance, but a chance nonetheless. JMA also calling that an area of low pressure as it slowly drifts off towards the north. And if we take a look at the GFS, now we have our initial low right there. You see how that kind of slowly works its way towards the north, impacting parts of Japan, but then maybe a secondary low forming up within that TUT and kind of kicking off towards the north by the Ogasawara Islands. And the GFS wants it up a full-on, typhoon there. Here's another look with the GFS, that first low trying to develop south of Japan here and coming out short, and then you get that secondary one. Now, the secondary one with the GFS has been pretty aggressive, but I think the theme here is that we do have this area of instability that wants to work its way towards the northwest with that overall background flow, and that could bring some tropical, at least related weather to the Izu Islands and maybe even the southern coast of Honshu. All the while, the easterly is still dominating down towards the south and still bringing a broad range of impacts towards the Philippines here too. And you can even see that tropical wave that we had out here into southern areas of the Philippines kind of wrapping around towards the north. I'll come back to that in just a second, but let's talk about our low here, the one that is south of Japan here. And there's that potential of this kind of an upper level low working its way down towards the surface and wrapping up and maybe even impacting the Izu Islands, like I mentioned, Nagoya, over towards Tokyo in the Kanto Plain. And this is on Wednesday afternoon, kind of showing you right here's the Izu Islands and our friends like for example, in Yokosuka there in Japan. By Wednesday afternoon, you really could be getting some not hurricane, typhoon conditions. There's some good, strong, gusty conditions with passing thunderstorms and things like that here on your Wednesday afternoon. Kind of feeling a bit tropical, if you will. Before this gets wrapped up with the rainy season front and kind of all part of that flow coming in from the south. So all those hydrangea petals going to get blown around a bit here as that pushes on by. And you can see here with this trying to form up and kicking off towards the north on Tuesday heading into Wednesday, getting absorbed with that Mayu Bayou front located in here. And then you got the easterlies down towards the south, which of course we're still monitoring. So hey, for our friends in Japan, let me know if you're watching from anywhere out here that could potentially be impacted. Tomorrow I'll probably put on a full-on, more detailed update as we start to see something form. All right, I'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, though, as I mentioned, the easterly is still dominating our friends in the Philippines here. This is going to get absorbed and pulled towards the north, but it is continuing to bring scattered showers across parts of Visayas and Mindanao. Locally heavy rain for sure possible within this, but by no means is it organized. If anything, once this does kick off towards the north, it is going to start to enhance that southwest monsoon. Again, I know you've had a little bit of a break in parts of western Luzon, but the Habagat is going to start to churn back on pretty quickly. So obviously, with that said, Sunday, you got scattered showers across parts of Visayas over towards Mindanao and even into Palawan. And then we look back towards the north, afternoon showers also off towards Manila. If you're new to the channel, maybe you're watching from Japan, I do typically do these flyovers as well for the Philippines. That's why I'm kind of concentrating. We got a good amount of people that are watching out of here because obviously Philippines gets hit the most by tropical systems. So I usually try to wrap up with a nice bow about your local forecast here across some of the most tropical prone islands. Of course, Japan ranks a close second. We're going to keep an eye on that area of low pressure located off of the the Ogasawara Islands, north of the Mariana Islands, and if anything does decide it wants to develop with that. But boy, for the time being, you know, it's at least semi-quiet at this point. We just want to keep a close eye on this, and if it doesn't want to run off there. And like I said, the closer it gets to Japan, the closer it gets to the rainy season front, the more shear is going to act on it. It's probably just going to get absorbed and pulled towards the north, but it could bring a nice little shot of some tropical storm-esque conditions for our coastal areas of central Honshu. All right, that's a look at what's happening out here today. As always, thanks for watching. And of course, number one thing is please, friends, stay safe out there. All right, have a good day.